Welcome to the European Tour Health and Safety Induction. Please ensure you sign the induction register once you have watched this video. If you have any questions, please speak to your Championship Management representative. This site induction is general for all European Tour events and provides you with information on hazards, site rules and safety requirements. Event-specific information will be provided at the end of this video by your Championship Management representative. Further information on site rules, including site-specific information and requirements, can be found in the Event Build Contractors Information, which is issued to all contractors in advance of coming on site. Under health and safety legislation, you have a legal duty to take reasonable care of your own safety and the safety of any others who may be affected by your acts or omissions. You must also cooperate with the European Tour and your employer and others to enable us to comply with our duties under relevant legislation. Laws prohibit the intentional or reckless interference with or misuse of anything provided in the interests of health, safety and welfare. Severe penalties can be imposed on anyone found guilty of an offence, and we reserve the right to take disciplinary action and have you removed from the site. You must report to your designated location and Championship Management representative when you first arrive on site, and ensure your employees have attended the European Tour site induction prior to commencing works. All contractors should wear any passes supplied to them and ensure that vehicle passes are on display in any vehicles on site. After your first day, you must ensure that you sign in and out when you arrive and leave site each day. If you do not sign in or out, we will not know that you are on site for security reasons or in the event of an emergency situation arising. A site management representative from each contractor is requested to catch up daily during sign-in with the relevant contact within Championship Management. Please ensure you familiarise yourself with the site plan for the event. The latest copy is posted within the Championship office and copies are available for your convenience. Your Championship Management representative will advise of the operating hours of the site. Each contractor has the responsibility of ensuring welfare facilities are provided for their operatives. The European Tour has provided toilet facilities for contractors' use, and locations will be confirmed by your Championship Management representative. Please ensure all welfare areas remain clean and tidy to ensure health and safety standards are maintained and no fire hazards are present. No smoking, including e-cigarettes, is permitted within any structure or whilst work activities are being undertaken, including driving any vehicle on site. Each contractor is responsible for the provision of first aid for their operatives. A member of the European Tour Championship Management team will be first aid trained, and a first aid box is located within the Championship office. This does not remove your duty to provide appropriate first aid for your operatives, which should be identified on a risk assessment basis. You must report all accidents, incidents, dangerous occurrences and near misses to Championship Management, as well as in line with your normal policy and procedures. All accidents must be recorded in the on-site accident book. Should an accident or incident occur and requires reporting through RIDDOR, this will be the responsibility of the employer of the individual or incident involved. An investigation may be carried out for all accidents or incidents to prevent a reoccurrence. Contractors must not be under the influence of or in possession of alcohol or drugs whilst working on site. Any contractor suspected of being under the influence, including from consumption the previous day, will be instructed to leave site immediately. Any person taking medication, prescribed or otherwise, should check with their doctor if there are any side effects which may impair their ability to carry out work on site, for example, drowsiness. Please ensure your work area is appropriately segregated with barriers or fencing to exclude all other persons, including golfers, other contractors and the general public. Site safety signage must be located around your work area to advise others of the hazards presented and to prohibit entry into that area. Raise the alarm immediately by calling the emergency services on 999 and then contact a member of Championship Management to inform them of the emergency situation. Evacuate the area you are working in. Do not attempt to extinguish a fire unless it is safe to do so and you are appropriately trained to use the extinguishers provided. Please familiarise yourself with the local assembly points for the locations you are working in. If in doubt, please speak to the Championship Management team. In the event of an emergency, the following information should be given: location, number of casualties, nature of emergency. Only move injured persons if they are in danger and it is safe to do so. Suspicious packages should not be touched. Ask people to move away to a safe area and call security or the police. Do not use a radio or mobile phone within 15 metres. In the event of a full evacuation of the site being required, leave your work area immediately. Warn others in the vicinity of the emergency and advise of the evacuation. Do not stop to collect personal belongings. Move directly to the designated fire assembly point. Do not re-enter the site or buildings until instructed to do so by emergency services or European Tour. European Tour policy states that as a minimum, high visibility vests and steel toe cap boots must be worn during the build and de-rig periods. Additional PPE may be identified in your risk assessments and method statements. All PPE identified in your RAMs must be worn for the appropriate tasks. There are no exceptions to these standards unless a site-specific risk assessment has been completed and approved by the European Tour or their safety representatives. Golf shoes, trainers and open-toed shoes are not permitted on site when construction work is being carried out. PPE also includes materials used for protection from weather elements, for example sun cream and wet weather outerwear. All contractors must have prepared and submitted risk assessments and method statements to European Tour Championship Management Team and the safety advisor prior to arriving on site. All contractors must ensure that they are aware of the contents of the RAMs and carry out their works as defined within them. Any specific changes required should be noted within the dynamic risk assessment, with copies provided to European Tour and the safety advisor. Remember that the course will remain open to members, guests and visitors during a period of the build, so care must be taken with regards to the risk of ball strikes. This should be considered within your risk assessment. If a shout of 4 is heard, this may mean a golf ball is heading in your direction. You should crouch down and protect your head. Contractors must ensure that appropriate traffic management arrangements are in place for their works during the build and de-rig. To protect sensitive areas on site, please adhere to designated routes and parking areas which will be notified to you by the Championship Management Team. While on site, you must not exceed the noted speed limit, not leave engines idling while waiting, or leave keys in any unattended vehicles. Ensure that plant and machinery are only driven by trained and competent individuals. Provide a banksman for all reversing movements. All contractors who will require the use of buggies should ensure that they sign the buggy terms and conditions in the Championship office. Use of buggies must follow the European Tour policy on the safe use of golf carts. Buggies must be driven with due care and attention. Do not overload buggies. This includes both people and equipment, or leave keys in unattended buggies. At many courses, there will be a number of steep slopes, blind spots and areas of uneven terrain. Care should be taken when driving around the site, considering the terrain and the location of bunkers on site. At many golf courses, there is little protection from the weather, with some particularly susceptible to high winds. The weather conditions on site can change quickly, and you must ensure that you follow instructions from Championship management or your site foreman. The weather forecast will be taken into account when planning the day's operations, and the European Tour will keep you informed of any expected inclement weather. The Championship management team will have the authority to suspend works and evacuate the site if they deem it necessary. The use of mobile phones is restricted on site. Operatives should not use mobile phones while driving or operating any plant or equipment on site. This includes while using buggies. Operatives should only use mobile phones when on breaks and in areas agreed by the European Tour. Remember, you are working near and on a live golf course, where the use of phones is often prohibited. Work at height should be avoided where possible. However, it is accepted that there are elements of tasks you may be carrying out where work at height cannot be avoided. All work at height tasks must be risk assessed to ensure the hazard is minimised and controlled. Scaffolding must only be erected and altered by a competent person, and all scaffold structures must have appropriate scaffold tags attached. You must ensure that any structures being erected are secured during the build and dereg to prevent unauthorised access, and any openings should be secured with appropriate edge protection. Manual handling tasks should be avoided whenever possible, and the use of mechanical aids should be considered to reduce the risk of injuries occurring from manual handling. You should ensure that you follow the guidance set out within your RAMs relevant to any manual handling tasks. Only trained competent electricians are to install and inspect electrical systems and equipment. Tools and small items of plant should be inspected regularly before use. Portable appliance testing records should be maintained for each item of equipment in use at the site. Certification must be available for review. Never overload sockets or multi-plug units. All waste should be segregated as indicated within the waste compound and be secured to ensure materials are recycled wherever possible. You should have been provided with copies of the services and irrigation layout plans prior to attendance on site. Remember, these may not be accurate, and you must liaise with a member of the European Tour Championship management team and greenkeeping staff at the host golf club prior to ground penetration works. All contractors must ensure that appropriate services location techniques, for example CAT scans, are used prior to excavation or ground penetration works commencing. Daily briefings will highlight any services thought to be in the works area. All overhead cables will have suitable goalposts erected with a barrier to indicate the safe working height underneath the cables. If in any doubt as to the height of your vehicle, you must stop and seek assistance from site management. Do not pass under cables if you are unsure of your safe height. All environmental incidents or accidents must be reported to Championship management immediately. All substances must be accompanied with the relevant COSH risk assessments. Store all fuel in secure double-bunded containers in suitable locations away from hazard or sensitive site areas. All plant should be stored and refueled in the appropriate manner in accordance with your RAMs. Plant should not emit black smoke at any time. Please advise Championship Management if you notice this on site. In the event of spill, stop work, protect sensitive areas, for example drains and watercourses, identify source, contain spillage, clean up using appropriate materials from spill kit, dispose of clean-up materials appropriately, inform Championship Management and report in line with your employer's policy, replenish the spill kit. Thank you for your time to watch this induction video. To commence work on site, you must now sign the induction register. Site-specific information will be provided by your Championship Management representative. If in doubt, please ask, and we look forward to working with you to provide a safe and successful event.